Having a good day. Um, Today we're going to continue, or not continue. We're going to do an Ottley study. Yeah. So yeah, just a pose. Nothing too complicated. Let me make sure I'm live because sometimes it's fun just embarrassing myself for the next one. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's walk. Oh my God, who is this? That's Fireman. That's a fire song. My mosquito is coming. Hello, Arim. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? I missed this guy. Yeah, he's what was his name? Invincible. How's your day going? Welcome to the stream, Arim. I hope you're having a good day. I swear to God, man, if I mess up this pose, I'll be so pissed. Bro, I saw Lotus face yesterday. She's gorgeous. Oh, you guys chatted, yeah. That's good. That's good. Yeah, that's what the community is about. Connecting people and making friends. I downloaded Snap for her. We had a little bit of chat. Uh, she's so beautiful, bro. 10 out of 10. That's good news. That's good news. That's good news. What do I do with this, man? I swear, man, I don't want to form this pose. Oh, you uploaded a short video, really? I'm going to check it out. Where is it? Mm. You did? Yeah, that's cool. Let me pause this. Oh, by the way, Josh Levi, you're killing it, man. That's a good voice. Yo, this is really good. I'm really happy about this. Yo, this is so good. Yeah, I'm happy you started posting. Hello, girl with one eye. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a good weekend. Yeah, I swear, drawing is so relaxing. Yeah, especially if it's something you're just doing for you're just trying to like improve on right on a daily. Sometimes it can just be really relaxing, and you're even getting the like proportions. Like this is really good. Yo, nice, nice. Now do 1,000 more. Do you have any tips for drawing hands? Yes, I do. I can show it to you. Oh, by the way, check out my friend's page, Irene. Yeah. She's a talented artist. I'm going to show you how to draw hands. Well, the way I know how to draw hands, anyways. Um, where is this reference? All right. So if you're interested in learning how to draw hands, the first thing I'm going to, show you if you're drawing the hands is that you need to understand well structure, right? And the hands, if you're drawing a hand, the first thing you need to understand is a simple shape like this. You draw like a triangle like this. Are you seeing this? And divide this triangle into two. Yeah, right? And then you draw a triangle. I say triangle, rectangle. I mean, this was a rectangle, by the way. I know my shapes, I promise you. And then draw a triangle. Yeah, this is a triangle like this. And this is going to be your fingers. The reason why I made this up is because once I separate it like this, you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is the tallest finger, and this is the second tallest finger. Yeah, and then whatever they call it. What's the name of this finger that's usually here? Thumb. Yeah, our thumb is going to be like this. Yeah, I'm not saying draw it like this, but this is one of the ideas to have in your brain whenever you're drawing the hands. Yeah, and then of course you can detail it with reference. The second thing you need to think about is the box shape, right? So you could have this shape in your head when you're drawing the hands as well. You can have this shape as well in your head. So, and then what you then do is you have these holes over here like this. And then you can then begin pushing out the hands. Yeah, like this. And that's how you end up with fingers like this. And then you have your hands. You can see how that is formulating. So you need to think about it like construction. So another thing you can think about when you're drawing the hands is that you could use, it looks like cigarette. Yeah, but what I mean is that these are the fingers though. In fact, let me just draw it differently so that you can see the different fingers. Let me just do them in different angles. So what you could do is that you could have this guy over here like this, then have this guy over here like this. Then you could have this guy over here like this. And then have this guy over here like this. And then have this guy over here like this. Let's draw cigar. Going to draw cigar this time. And then you have this finger pointing out here like this. I don't know why I didn't think about this the first time. But as you can see, I've drawn like a, albeit stiff, I've drawn a robotic arm. And then the thumb is I'm going to draw. Bro, by the way, Jane is dead. Are you talking about from, what's the name? What's the name of the show? Is it Breaking Bad? Yeah, so you need to think about the hands like 3D shapes because that's the only way you're going to get good at drawing the hands. Yeah, Breaking Bad. Yeah, I thought so. And then another thing about the hands is that when you're thinking about the hands, you need to think about the bones. Yeah, the metacarpals and the phalanges, the bones that are within. Like there's a lot of like crazy bones around the hands. Like if you look deep. How did she die again? Please let me know. Yeah, these are important because it's going to help you understand the amounts of joints that are in the fingers, right? So one simple way to use so that you don't need to memorize all this is that sorry, when you're looking at a hand, like you have this palm of the hand, and then you have this palm of the hand as well. So you have the thumb palm, and then you have the pinky palm. Let me just write it here. Pinky palm, thumb palm. Yeah. Um, and then we have the middle palm, the center palm for these three fingers over here. So these sort of like details that are very important to remember whenever you're drawing the hands. Yeah, Mr. White didn't save her. Like, bro, oh my god. And Skylar is cheating on him. Like, bro, yeah. Yeah, everybody in that movie, in that TV series, is just going to be annoying. Just prepare for it. Yeah. So the thing I'm going to tell you is that whenever you're drawing references for hands, doing like drawing hands, like use as many references as possible. Yeah, because the hands is one of the most complex things. If it's pinky palm, then why is it not pink? Why Jesse Pinkman is not? Honestly, I don't know the etymology of the word. I'm just going along. Yeah. I was just dropped into the game of life. I'm just playing along. All right, so if I were to draw this hand, to be fair, it's fairly simple hand to draw. But one way that I usually use to break it down is that because I have the knowledge of the fact that this hand is divided into two sections, and these two sections are divided into further flexible parts, which are like sort of like the parts of the fingers. The way I would break this hands down is that, of course, I'm going to have my first shape, and then this second shape is curving inwards. Yeah, the second shape is curving inwards like this. This is the first shape like this. The two shapes, that is these two like rectangles or boxes, and then one is curving inwards like this because it's the flexible part of the hand, and because it's curving, it's not like encompassing every single part, albeit the hand is extremely flexible. um Hello Kaji, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. How's your weekend going? Have you been able to do any practices? How's the, what do you call it, the course or the classes, the art classes? How's the art classes going? Yeah, anyways, so because it's curving inwards, it's the same thing that's happening to this, because that's why they say you have to think about the hands as a 3D object. So the hands are curving, and that's why we're going to have this shape, this first shape, which is sort of going to be this guy, like this, kind of, I don't know. And then we're going to have another shape like this, which is going to be the box. Yeah. And then of course we can get creative with it, and then look at the shape like this. So this is sort of the shape that we have, and then we'll use that to draw. So once you have understanding of structure, drawing, despite the fact that a pose can be difficult, you can still be able to battle it if you stick at it long enough. But that's exactly how I, would draw the hand. And don't forget, this is the palms that I talked about. The separation of these palms here, like this. That's the separation we have here as well. Um, the classes have been frustrating, yeah? Yeah, I understand how we feel. Doing practice now, I'm stuck. Yeah, sorry about that. What are you studying exactly? What subjects are you on? What subject are you on? Like, what are you studying currently? Oh my God, thanks so much, Jude. I appreciate it. You're welcome. Anytime. Yeah, so let's look at this reference. Yeah, this is Michael Jordan. So now, because we understand the partitioning of the hands, let's just do one more. So and remember, I was explaining the hands should be seen as a 3D object. Yeah. So we're going to sort of apply that logic over here. So first of all, we're going to separate it based on the perspective. Basic fundamentals. I can't even draw a box. Come on, man. You can draw a box. Come on. I believe in you. All right. So the hands are curved a bit like this. Yeah. I hope you're seeing that clearly. Right. So I'm going to draw this. Yeah. Remember, I said the palm is divided into two. But the thing about these two divisions is that this upper part is extremely flexible. Meanwhile, this part is the stiff part. So I have my first box over here like this. Yeah, I have my first box, which is this part of his hand. And then I'm going to add this part, this triangle part, like this, which is like this. And then I'm going to draw the second part of the hand. Um, Thanks so much, dude. I appreciate it. You're welcome, girl with one eye. So we're just going to have to estimate the length of this second part, which is the most flexible part of the hand. Just going to have to estimate it. Right. So we have our 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't measure that well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, there should be a gap between the hands, because if you were to look at your hands, you'd see a pattern, you see a gap. The hands aren't just like, I use this as an oversimplification of the hand, but ideally there is a separation between the hands, between the fingers like this. There's a separation between each fingers. Yeah, there's a gap or webbing between each finger. So the next thing we can do is that this is a technique that usually helps me, is that you can try and draw gesturally, like with the hands. So you just draw like a single shape. So I could draw something like this, could do something like this, and then I could do something like this as well, and then do something like this, and then do something like this. And with this, I've sort of gotten the shape of the hand that I want to get. And then, of course, later on, I could then begin applying the shapes. So, I could then put my hands like this, and then I could put my hands like this. Um, for my references, I look at has-been hotel characters, but I have a very similar art style as the has-been hotel, so it helps me a lot. Well, that's cool. I feel like I've heard about the has-been hotel before, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, sorry, just give me a moment to check. Has-been. Oh, I think I've heard about this before, but I haven't watched it ever in my life. Um, but yeah, whatever reference you can use to help you, use it as much as possible, whatever works for you. But also take note of the hands. They're very important, and of course, use as many gestures as possible, because movement distorts shape a lot of the time. Movement distorts shape. So, as you can see over here, I've already established the the hand that I want to draw, even though it's not like perfect, but you can see it's close to perfect. And then of course our thumb, like our palm, yeah, like we talked about over here. Then draw our palm, and then we have our three hands like that. And then of course you can add the details later on, but essentially we've gotten what we want to get. That was so fun. Um uh you're gonna draw mosquito. Yeah, I'm going to draw him, of course. I'm going to draw him. Definitely. I will. I'm going to do that now. Hello Kaji said, can I pay for an hour of time for help with basic shapes, please? Yeah, of course. Yo, anything for anything, no, not anything for money, but yeah, of course I can help you. But if you're paying me, the first lesson is going to have to be free. Yeah, before you pay me, so that you can see if you will be able to get your money's worth, first of all, before you then decide if you pay me, like if you want to continue, because I can't just take your money like that. I have to make sure I'm giving value, the right value for what you're paying for. But of course, man, I can teach you if you want. It just depends. Just let me know what's convenient for you. Um, it would be a pleasure to help someone out. Bro, I changed my nickname. What's your nickname now? You're not serious. So you caught me then. Did I just say our? You're not serious. Oh, by the way, I'm not drawing Mosquito Man. Hell no. There's enough drawing of Mosquito Man already in the world. Yeah, I'm drawing my character, yo. Mm. Yo, bro, I like your art. Thank you so much. But this isn't my art, though. This is Ryan Ottley, and I'm just doing a study. But I appreciate the compliments, Buggy. Thanks for joining the stream as well. I'm grateful. Oh my God, bro, really? You enjoy breaking? Hell no, I'm not drawing Mosquito Man, yo. I don't like it's quite like if I'm not getting paid for it or like you know I'm not feeling sentimental. Hell no, am I drawing another person's character unless I'm feeling a bit sentimental or like I just want to. But really, I don't. Nah, man. There's a lot of drawing of like there are thousands of drawings of Invincible around the world. Yeah, and very few of my characters. So no one else is gonna draw my character for me, so I better draw him as much as possible. Anyways, I'm broke as fuck. Bro. By the way, it's Irene Flex Art. Ooh, I like it. Irene Flex Art is cool. I like that. Irene Flex Art. Why said agreed. Yeah, you agree with me, yeah? Yeah, I have someone on my side. If you don't draw your character, who will? Oh, by the way, let me sort out the rest of the pose because I don't like what I'm drawing at the moment. It's not giving. It's giving inexperienced. It's giving you don't know what you're doing, man. It's giving you need to go back to your foundations. Yeah, it's giving you need to go back to your fundamentals. Why am I not just drawing gesturally? What am I doing? Yeah, what am I doing? And just draw gesturally and put the fries in the bag. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. It's a canon event. Anyways, so this is what usually helps me whenever I'm struggling with the pose. You see that thing that pencilers usually do, where they just put their pencils like this, like traditional artists and illustrators, like when they just put their pencils like this and just they just begin drawing. Uh, the brush I'm using just makes it easier. So that's sort of like what I'm doing. Yeah. So if you're having trouble with a pose, you can just increase the size of the whatever and just draw with it. No escaping fundamentals. Exactly. That is facts. That's facts. Yeah, and some days I'll just draw and I'll be like, yeah, you need to go back and touch up on your basics and your foundation, you know? Anyways. Do, 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 do. Yep, hopefully that is a good pose. His head might need to be made a bit bigger though. I don't want to edit digitally. As in, I want to actually get the pose without having to use digital techniques, you know. The thing about my character though is that he's a bit muscular, and most times when characters are muscular, they tend to have smaller heads. But yeah, I like what I have so far though. Let me just add details of his. I'm stuck in level one. Just get good at the fundamentals, then you level up. Yeah, yeah, of course, that's true. That's true. Well, I also say like if you based on like because the fundamentals is so vast, and for you not to get stuck in just learning and learning and learning, it's usually good to learn with a purpose. Yeah. So if you want to study, if there's an area of art you want to base, like me for instance, I want to work on comics particularly. So I have to be good at perspective and figure drawing. Yeah, I have to be good at these two stuffs and composition, especially because I'm going to work on a lot of panels. So yeah, those are the major things I kind of need to work on, and then you can add the rest later on. But majorly, those are the things that I need to work on, and you have to direct your focus of learning in that area. From someone who wants to study, you know, environments or wants to do skyscape or like um character designs, because you might need to focus a lot more on colors. And whilst I that doing comic book art, I don't have to do that as much, especially if I'm just like a penciler. Hey John, my battery is dying again. See ya later, bro. Yeah, no problem. No problem. Have a nice day. If I like poses, I can check out JoJo's poses. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Do you mean the manga or like the anime? I was the idiot who stopped at 10 years old, started at 29, and it shows terribly. I won't say you're an idiot, man. Like everyone has their own growth and phase. Yeah. Like I didn't start learning art properly until I was, you know, 22. Until I was 22, that was when I actually started learning art like properly. Spent a lot of time like just dilly dallying. In fact, I left art for a while, like left learning how to do art for a while, and just was focusing on like making music. So When ideally, until I then, I then had a proper rethink about where I wanted my life to go, and art was just the right move for me. Some artists peaked at their 40s. Yeah, it's never too late. That's just the thing about it. You're right, Wise. You're very right. That's the thing about art. Art is not like being an athlete. Even though of course, like everyone gets old, and the older you get to an extent, the weaker you are. But we're not like athletes where you have like at least 15 years or so at the top. Like being an artist, you can always like improve. You can always improve, and you can start at any age and get better. But of course, starting early favors you a lot. But you can always still get better if you're dedicated at it. Like every day I go online, I see like people that do better arts than what I've done in my life. Yeah, and a lot of them are way younger than me. So, but the way I just see it is that everyone has their own journey, and you shouldn't let another person's journey affect yours. Comparison is the thief of joy. I always loved the thought of cartoons and manga, but I had a fear of pencil. Hmm. Like, so what do you do? Like, are you a sculptor? Like, what do you do? Or are you like a painter? Do you do more paintings? I just like how sharp his muscles, he draws his muscles. It's very direct. Yeah, and he adds curves whenever he needs to. It's just so cool. That's one thing I enjoy about his art. And it's quite similar to what's this guy's name again? Dan Mora. Yeah, I like that in Dan Mora's work as well. Um, right. Oh, you're right. Oh, I thought you were. I thought it was Wise that was talking. I thought it was Wise that was talking. I didn't notice it was Kaji because you guys' profile picture, because you have sort of like red on it. I just mistook it. I remember you're a writer. Kaji. I remember you're a writer. But don't worry, like it's just the thing that the what do they call this thing? They say confidence, right? Confidence comes from repetition. And this is the analogy I always use for like to let people know. I always try to use it for myself so that I can encourage myself whenever I'm feeling down. Um, the thing about confidence is that confidence comes from it's just like a proof of the fact that you can do something because you've done it multiple times, because you've done it over and over and over and over and over and over again. That's where confidence comes from. Because I have, for like the rest throughout my life, I have always known how to walk. Yeah, I've always known how to walk. So if I were to be in a competition and the competition was about taking 100 steps, right? I'll feel very confident about being in that competition because all my life I've taken millions, if not hundreds of thousands of steps in my lifetime. So I wouldn't be phased, I wouldn't feel anxious about that competition. So it's the same thing you have to apply with any skill, any new skill you're trying to learn. The best way to be confident at it is to do as many drawings as possible under a particular area, um, for as long as possible, and then you'll never be phased by it. Even if you're phased, you know how to tackle it. I'm trying to learn how to write, and I'm afraid of people reading my stories. Yeah, I get how you feel as well. The way I decided to do it is that like Um, I just gave someone more competence than me at writing to just write my own stories. Yeah, he's a far more competent writer than I am, and I'm a better artist than he is. So we just combined our skills together, and you know, we are working on this comic book projects together. Of course, I have a lot of stories that I want to do, and whenever I can be able to finish this one and I begin to tackle that one, I will expect to not be very good at it on the first try. And that is the thing. Like most people go in with the thought of like being amazing on the first try. But that's not how growth works, especially if you're learning a new skill. Um, it's just like a baby. You have to imagine yourself as a baby. A baby doesn't just learn to walk on their first month of being alive. It takes months for them, most times even years before they are able to properly walk. So you kind of have to take that approach. But I learned the only way to get good or better was to actually try and get feedback, since that's the only way to improve. Yeah. I just have the dream of bringing my character to life. That is uh that is one of the greatest feelings ever. Like if you're able to, whether that is to do a comic book for your character or to do an animation for a character, that is like probably one of the most amazing things ever. But it's so much work. It's so much work, and it's so tasking. Um, but of course, if you there's a level you have to reach where you're no longer doing it for you're just doing it for the love of the game, for just like pure creation. Because a lot of the work you're going to do, if that is something you want to do, is going to be thankless and it's not going to bring any reward. Uh, but you still have to do it regardless because that's the amount of work it takes to actually get something off the ground. Yo, yeah. Right now, I'm just looking at the error that I've made. Right. So one thing you can look at your character that I've noticed with my character is that if you're drawing and you don't like the way something is looking, all you could do is that you could always look at the negative space. So for instance, now if I wanted to get this exactly, like look at the space over here. You seeing this space over here like this? That is negative space. And with that, I can be able to get like the pose. Like if I wanted to correct this, do I want to correct it? You know what? Let's correct it. Let me practice what I'm teaching. Yeah. If I wanted to correct this is what I'll do. Yeah. So right, we have this negative space over here. We're just going to try and copy this negative space here. So first of all, we have this shape going like this. Yeah. Don't worry about anything. Just focus on the negative space. And then we have this guy going down. But of course, because of my character's whatever belt, he doesn't have a belt. Because of my character's belt is going to be different. Yeah. And then pushed like this, and then goes down like this. And then we have this shape, and then this shape, and then this shape. And that's how with negative space you can be able to draw everything. Or if you feel like your pose is not aligned properly, you can be able to align your pose. Um, yeah, my profile pic is is my character I made. I can't see it because I'm on my phone. I really can't see it. Do you have like I don't know if I've asked you this before, but are you like on any social media platform that I can search? Anyways, that's just a tip about negative space. So that whenever I'm talking about negative space, that's sort of what I mean. It's just this gap around here, like this. And once you see that around the character, it's something you can use to just help you out. Uh, I wonder what Kajikola characters are. I think he has just written that he told me about it, but I don't think he mentioned. Did he mention? I think maybe I've probably forgotten. But he has just written the characters down. I think he has done like the story. He has done the story, but it's about the drawing aspect that remains. I don't know if I'm right about that. I mean, I'm going to see. I have an Instagram. You might recognize me. I'll send a post or Insta. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, please do that. Yeah, do that. You can send it to my message. When I enter Instagram, I'll check it out. You might be using a different like name, so just let me know that it's wise. And oh my God, I'm so human. You wanna know is where the stars came from, and we ever tried to watch them shine. Oh, we wanna know is where the stars came from. Uh, a boy from Togo village who becomes an earth hero. Sorry, I don't want to spoil so much. Yeah, it's all right, man. It's all right. It's chill. It's all right, man. So the stars can do we ever come? No, that's what the stars ever try to watch them. Some grateful eyes. This year, conquer, still feeling emotions. How many hundred grand this year? Conquer, so what? Yep, that's the apps. Of course, we know the serratus muscle is around here, so let's just add that. I mean the obliques, and the serratus is around here. All right. Normally, my character is quite bigger than that. I can't lie. I think I might need to make this different. Still feeling anxious. This year. So, my God, I'm so human. What I can say is that I plan to keep it like manga, We love just having the black experience. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that too. I like colors, but I actually enjoy like seeing just pure blacks. In fact, most of the time, well, that's just me from an artistic standpoint. A lot of the time, like if I could read comics, like even Western comics, I prefer to read just the noir editions if there are any, because I learn a lot from just looking at the black and white, like just the black pages. It really helps me out and it trains my eye on how to work with just monochrome, so that I can then like improve my own art, particularly. Are you alone? Where the stars came from, nearly every star to watch them shine. Where the stars came. Mm, 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 mm. Staring with ungrateful eyes. Sartorius muscle, by the way. Sartorius muscle. Planes of the legs. That's what's causing that plane, that triangular looking plane over there. Then vastus lateralis, vastus medialis, and of course, rectus femoris muscles of the legs. Very important, very important. Yeah, and let's do the second leg. Of course, another way to notice the legs is the negative space that is being created. Yeah, if you take note of that negative space, you won't get lost that much. When the underground is here, clap, 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 so mentions. All right. So I think we've done quite well. Not the best. I think he could be wider on the shoulders. I think that would be really nice. So the muscles be shaded. Um, it's not a dumb question. You're not asking a dumb question. It's a good question. Um, are you talking? If you're talking about here, he's leaving it like this because the colorist is going to apply color to the work, and it's already shaded. He's already added the values in the most important places, and he's wearing a costume. But if you're talking about mine, the muscles, I won't shade the muscles because that is not what I'm going for. I can simply use black to make it feel like a render, and then add hatching lines to make it feel like a 3D object, or make it have form, essentially is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, that's just that's kind of what we do when we are trying to ink. And no question you ask is ever dumb, like none at all. Like if it's relating to art, yeah, you need those questions answered. They're very important. Clarity is essential. It's important to know why each decision is being made, each creative choice is being made, because that's how you're going to learn. So I made 100 grand this year. Clap, 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 so and shoes. I made 100 grand this year. Anyways, All right, for his arms, what I'm just going to simply do for my sanity is that I'm going to use negative space to just help me out with the positioning of the hands. So does it just depend on the crease and folds of the fabric? Yeah, you can use the crease and fold of the fabric to help with that. Yeah, so first of all, once you understand the form of the abs, yeah, so we have our abs like this. This is the shape for our abs, and then our abs are divided into what, one, two, three, four rows and two columns, right? So once you give an ab shape, like technically I'm already rendering the ab. Probably an ab was the wrong reference to use, but let's proceed with it. Now the things that can give this form is, of course, understanding of light direction. If the light is coming from the top, the light direction is going to be to the bottom, like this. Right, and I could then do something like this over the abs to give it the 3D form. And then the more detail I add to this app, the more realistic or close to realistic I can make the app. So I could even make it, I could like, so these are called hard edges, but then I could blend it. And once I blend it, I'm making it have soft edges. So you can see how the app is transforming. So does it just depend on the, oh yeah, okay, I think I've answered that. So you can see how there's a transition from the light canvas to the dark, and then of course you can then use the area. Like I said, light direction is very important. Light, of course, which is also an art fundamental, it's also very important to learn. So the more I darken an area, the more I'm giving that stuff form, and the more I play with the light and dark, the more I give that part of the body form. So that is very essential. And then of course, depends what I want to do. I could continue making it a hard edge, like a soft edge, I mean. But hard edges are different. You can still establish form with hard edges. Hard edges are my favorites, like when painting. Uh, but you can also use soft edges. So how long should I focus on line work and move to shapes? Mm, I'll say the first thing you should learn is shapes. Yeah. The first thing you should learn, in my opinion, should be shapes. You learn shapes first. Let me show you sort of like um, how I would explain art growth or art development. Just quickly, where's my, there's a place I was drawing here. Like this is how quickly how I would explain it here. So this is art, right? Let's say you want to learn art, and then the first thing I would say you should learn is the three things I'll say. Well, are they three? Well, the first one I would say is shapes. Yeah, just learn shapes first. Just learn shapes. Just draw as many shapes as possible. Draw triangles, draw cubes. Yeah, just uh, this is cubes actually. Draw cones and things like that. The second thing I'll talk about is gesture drawing. Gesture drawing. There's one more thing, but I've forgotten what it is. To be honest, I don't remember. But I did do a video on this a long time ago. Well, these two things are very important. Gesture drawing and shapes. The reason why gesture drawing, like you shouldn't, the reason why I would say not to focus on precise line work yet is because you probably haven't built the dexterity to be able to draw precise lines with enough fluidity as much as possible. So I would say just focus on shapes first. Just use your normal pencil and your sketch pencils, like whatever, and just draw as much as possible, because that's what's actually going to build your dexterity. And once you've done that, you then move on to gesture drawing. Gesture drawing is what will give you the ability to see a figure or hand like this and just be able to just use as little lines as possible to just establish the shape of what you're seeing. Yeah, it's what's going to help you easily just draw what's his name? Michael Jordan's expressions with as minimal lines as possible, uh, without, you know, without thinking too much about it. So that's what gesture drawing allows you to do. It allows you not to be restricted. It allows you to be fluid, allows you to be flexible. It allows you to not give a damn so much. It gets you out of that mentality of, you know, feeling so stiff about art. So that's what gesture drawing does. So I think these are the first two things you should focus on before you move on to like the art fundamentals proper. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I think here should be art fundamentals. Yeah, so these are the three things, and of course, start with shapes, then move on to gesture before you then move on to the art fundamentals. Yeah, gesture drawing is very important. It's what will help you be able to illustrate any pose with as little, like, with as little lines as possible. Yeah, with as little lines as possible. You'll be able to illustrate any single pose. So, very important, gesture drawing. And then you begin to see how you can then add details and things like that. So yeah, that's sort of like what I think you should do. That's how I would tell anyone to approach um, drawing in general. That's how I would advise or suggest. Yeah, that's my own 2 cents. But what did your like your lesson, is it your lesson teacher or your instructor? What did they say? I made it on the ground this year. Clap, 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 clap. So what? Still lost, still feeling anxious. I'm trying to figure this out, but my God, I'm so human. Ooh. Thank you. I had the first 3 lessons, and I think it went well. All right, man. Yeah, that's good news. That's good news. And I'm so human. Ooh. Just remember in your head that art is something that everyone is working on. Like every single instructor, they're all learning as well. Nobody is like perfect. Yeah, there are very few artists that you could say in the world that are perfect artists. Yeah, no one is perfect. So they also have things that they struggle with or things that are not their strengths. So just keep that in mind. So you're not the only one that struggles. Like even the best artists or illustrators in the world, they struggle as well. All right, I'm gonna add the blade. Hmm. What I'm trying to do now is that I feel like the shoulders are not broad enough. So I'm just like using my own, trying to make it look like so. I think I'm done. Just need to add. I just need to begin like inking and stuff. Sure, showing you line work mostly. Yeah, I mean, of course, line is not bad. Line is not bad. Line work is not bad. Um, of course, it has its value. It's also important. And I think one of the reasons why she was showing is because of to improve your dexterity, right? Your fluidity on how to, just how to apply line. Because most times, have you heard about chicken scratches? Um, you've heard about, I mean, I don't know, she probably talked about it. Chicken scratches is like when people are so stiff about their art, where they are drawing like this. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah. I got the sentence. They're where like they are so stiff that they draw like this. That's not how to draw. Like if they are to draw like a box, they'll probably be drawing a box like this. They will be drawing with all the power of the infinity stones. They will use that to like draw a box, and the drawing will just be stiff, and there will not be what they call line weight. I don't know if you can see that line weight, because line weight is very important for rendering. Yeah, well, if you draw like this, your drawings are not going. You are not going to enjoy drawing if you draw like this. You have to, like, elbow, your elbow. You have to draw from your elbow with some level of freedoms from your elbow. Even though most of the times, of course, you draw with your wrist. I said you are that. Don't worry, your story will soon change. Yeah, you have to draw from your elbow. That's why most times you see me drawing, you see my hand moving like this. You have to draw from your elbow, right? And that's what's going to help you with speed, and help you with your dexterity and your fluidity. You have to be able to just make a line, like a cross. Like, look at this stuff, right? Look at this cool Batman pose here. I have to be able to just draw, like free myself and just draw the shapes. Like once I'm looking at this Batman pose, the first thing I'm looking at is the shapes. Yeah, and for me to properly and competently draw this shape, I what the hell, man? For me to competently draw these shapes, I have to be free with my hands. Yeah. So I have to add, like, you see how like my hands are moving? I have to be able to not worry so much about mistakes, about errors. I have to just be willing to just draw. Yeah. Just draw. So that is sort of like the things you have to think about when you're working. Very important. So that's probably why she was teaching you line work. And line work is very important. But like I said, shapes. Like as you can see, I'm just using simple shapes here. Yeah, I'm just using simple shapes here, but I'm already establishing the shape of this Batman character. Yeah, so that's sort of like how it works. If you do that over and over and over again, you'll get good. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, so it's very important. What application am I using? Oh, I'm using Procreate. This is Procreate. This Procreate. And this is an iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil. Anyways, Kaji, uh, I hope the discussion was helpful. How many underground this year? Clap, 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 clap. So, I think I might end the stream here. It's been an hour. I'll continue this drawing tomorrow, hopefully. Um, I bought a glass cube online to learn. A glass cube. Hello, Ransford. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. What sort of glass cube? Let's see. Glass cube. Oh, do you mean like a 3D glass cube, like physical glass cube? Do you mean something like this? Oh, thank you so much, Ransford. Thank you. I appreciate that. Hope the exams are going well. Oh, something like this, yeah. So, like you use it to practice traditionally, yeah. Hmm. One thing you could also get is you could get like a score if you can score reference for drawing. Score model for drawing. Not not that. What do they call it? I've forgotten what they call it though, but it's like it's a skull, sort of like a mannequin, something like that. I don't know. But you can hold it, it's quite small, and you use it to for references. Use it for references. uh, this can be very useful. But I just go online and use references. I just use like 3D like 3D references whenever I'm stuck. Mm, mm, mm. And that's how I work. Staring with ungrateful eyes. Mm. Yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm copying Ryan Ottley's style. Well, thank you. See you tomorrow, John. See you too, Kaji. Yeah. And see you too, Ransford. I'm going to end the stream now. Yeah, have a nice day, guys. I appreciate you for joining, and I'll see you tomorrow.